ち向かった僕らでたらめな歌を歌いなんだよそれで笑う旅は続くと思った
Hello everyone, today we'll be unboxing another figurine for the week. Here we have is a figurine from the manufacturer's FuRyu, a figurine part of their NEX line. It's a 1/7 scale PVC figure of the character Destiny from the series Takt OP Destiny or Takt OP Destiny. As always, before we take the figurine out of its packaging, just in case you didn't know, Takt OP or Takt OP is a Japanese mixed media project produced by Bandai Namco Arts and DeNa. The series project had an anime that was released in 2021 by studios Mappa and Madhouse. With having an anime adaptation, the series also has a manga that focuses on another character following the same events of the anime called Takt OP Destiny Haruka Tsuyoku no Anna Harmony of Hope or Takt OP Destiny Anna of the Distant Memories Harmony of Hope, serialized in Media Factory's monthly comic Alive in 2022 by the mangaka Kino. There's also another manga by the name Takt OP Bara no Dangan de Ute or Takt OP Shoot with the Bullet of a Rose. Release of this year in 2025, story by Ayaka Takaha and artist Ika Nakamura. This series also has a mobile game which was initially scheduled to release in 2021 alongside with the anime but was delayed. The game going by the name Takt OP Symphony released in 2023. Sadly, the game service ended in 2024. So as you can see here, Destiny wearing her crimson dress and holding her weapon is designed based on the anime. So as you can see, this is her box rotating in 360. So without holding you guys back, let's just take Destiny out of her packaging and see how it looks. So this is Destiny straight out of her packaging. As you can see, she's wrapped with plastic to protect the figurine during travel. So as you can see here, she does have a lot of accessories, but don't worry, let's just remove all of this and see how the figurine looks. So just like every other figurine, you are provided with an assembly instructions guide here, which is two-sided. On the one side here, we do get is Chinese and English text, which they do provide you, and on the other side of the sheet we do get is a Japanese side, which what I would assume is the front side of the sheet, and it's also the back. And as you can see here, from looking at it, I think they give you a little bit more information here in Japanese than what they give you on the opposite end of the sheet, which I don't really think is much of a deal. I think it's quite a simple instructions guide you can follow. So yeah, so let's just continue on. So here we have is Destiny's base. As you can see here, it's quite reflective, so I'm probably gonna have to turn off the lighting here on the top end. But as you can see here, since the show, or should I say the series, is based off classical music, we do get is kind of like a music themed base. As you can see here, we have his line that represents, you know, the line on a music sheet, which is quite unique, and I do really like the way that looks. Here we have is the hole where you put that large accessory. We have a couple little holes here for Destiny, and we have the side for her weapon. But here at the bottom of the base, we do get his other information, such as the series, you know, you can see there it says DeNa, and other information on the series. But here on the bottom is not as actually reflective as the top, which, I mean, you're not really going to see the bottom, but being this as shiny plastic, I could kind of see this getting scratched, so do really be careful if you get your hands on this figurine. But besides that, it's actually a quite detailed base. So here we have is the golden ring of a musical, I guess, is a notes, and I gotta say it actually looks quite impressive. I'm wondering if these notes that you see on these lines are actual music. I don't have an instrument on me, so I don't know if I can play this, but if you do, can someone like check to see if that actually plays the music or not? I'll actually be interested to know that. But the inside here is actually more detailed than the back side. I feel it's a little bit more gold, and if you are wondering, this kind of feels like a cheap plastic. So do really be careful when handling this. So let's just connect this to the bass. So here we have is Unmei, or Destiny, as you can see here, like we do with every other figurine here. Starting from the bottom of her shoe area, we are provided with 2 pegs for each foot. As you can kind of see here, the bottom of the shoe is actually quite detailed. You can kind of see a little bit of sculpt work as well. So here, focusing on her shoe, which I'm really loving the dark crimson red that you see here on her shoe. They gave it a glossy finish to it, and it's actually quite reflective. And same thing with the shoelace as well. It's also painted with a glossy finish, which I actually really do like. As you can see here, you can kind of see the gold and black on the top of her shoe. So we're gonna be going up here to her legging area, which I think is not, I mean, it's a little bit detailed in some areas. You can kind of see here the paintwork. They kind of made it a little bit more lighter black, and towards her knee area is a little bit more darker to give it a little bit more shade. I don't know if my camera captures it, but you can kind of see here it gives it a kind of a detailed look. And here at the back, same thing with the knee area. You can kind of see here the sculpt work here on her back of her leg here. It's a little bit more darker painted as well compared to the rest of the legging, which kind of gives it like it's almost transparent, which is quite detailed. Here at the bottom, we do get is rose thorns around her thigh area. So we do see is her red underwear with more of a black skirt at the bottom. Here on the side here, we do get is a little bit more detailed of the fabric. You kind of see her dress flowing through the air. We kind of see here we get is a little bit darker shaded, you know, black on top of the red, or maybe it's a darker red, which is also detailed as well. Here we have is the golden line that goes on the tip of the dress, and just like the bottom, the top here also is detailed. You kind of see here they gave, I wonder if that's black or darker red, that they gave it a little bit more shading towards each crease line here of the dress flowing throughout the air. Again, it's quite detailed, which I really do like. Here we have is her top of her thigh area. Again, a better view of her thorns that goes around her thigh, and a little bit of a shot in a mixture of a black and also red skirt. As you can kind of see here, it also has its own fabric folds, which are quite detailed as well. Here we have is her right hand here, which it's a little bit hard to tell because her fingers are curled up, but as you can see here from the tip of her nails, they're actually painted red, which matches her dress, which looks really great as well. We have is her arm and the middle of her dress area, which I'll be honest with you guys, looking at the middle section of her dress here, I feel I could have done a little bit more of a better paint job here. It's not the best compared to the rest of what we saw earlier with the dress. This could have done a little bit more work to it, but that's just me personally. The strings here seems a little bit decently painted, but I feel like they could have done something different there, which could have made the figurine look a little bit better. Here we have is the back of the same section here, which gave a little bit of crease lines here at the back, which also looked quite well. Again, I feel like they could have done a little bit of more work here on the middle section of her body, but that's just me. Here we have is her left hand, which is missing her hand. Well, I said hand, arm. She's missing her hand, which I think is connected to her weapon. So here we have is her top chest bosom area, which you kind of see here we do get as a little an insignia or like an emblem or a symbol here on the middle section here, as you can see here where I'm pointing. And we also get is a little bow tie here, which is also flowing with the air just like the skirt is, and turning the figurine around here So here we have is her back, which I think they kind of gave it quite detailed as well. You kind of see almost like if a bone is, you know, sticking out of her skin, which kind of is realistic, which I really do like when they do add that little bit of detail when it comes to the figurines and stuff. So here we have is her top hair section, and just like I say with every figurine, the figurine's face here looks really great painted. As you can see here, I'm really liking the little tattoo stars that she does have on the side of her eyes there, which looks really great. You can kind of see they did a nice sculpt work here on her nose, and her lips are quite painted. I'm really loving the way they painted the lips there, and you can kind of see she does have eyebrows. And just like the dress, since it's flowing in the air, her hair is also flowing with the air. But there's a negative thing I do gotta say is the coloring here on the red of her hair tips. I think they could have done a better job. It's not actually painted the best. I don't know if it's kind of hard to tell from my video, but you can kind of see the tips of her hair. It's kind of, the paint is kind of fading. But that could be maybe because I had the figurine in its box for a while, so that could be the issue. But I feel like they could have painted this a little bit better when it comes to the red on the bottom of her hair. But either way, it still looks quite detailed when it comes to the top portion of her hair, but the bottom is not as detailed as the top. Here's the top of her head, which again, detail lines here representing hair looks really amazing. Here we do have is the rose and the thorns around. Here we have is this gold plate, which is supposed to be the Voyager. It feels quite flimsy, so do be careful and don't really pull it from that section, because I feel like this could snap. Besides the hair and the middle section not being painted the best, it's still a really great figurine. It actually looks quite beautiful as well. So like I said, the shoe part here really pops, and this fabric here looks really great. But besides the little issues that I did have with the figurine, it's actually still a great piece. So let's just connect this to the base. So here we have is Destiny's weapon, as you can see here, which the paint job's okay. It matches the paint on the musical, you know, the little musical ring that I showed you earlier. I feel like they could have made it more of a reflective gold, but that's just me. But as you can see here, it does have a bit of red, gold, and a little bit of black in between. As you can see here, we do get is the handle. And I know you noticed that the hand is stuck onto the weapon, which I don't know what the choice of that was. It looks a little bit weird looking at it like this. You can kind of see here is Destiny's hand, which the hand looks painted decently as well. You can kind of see it, just like I mentioned before, it does have a little bit of red on her nails, which is also detail. You can kind of see the sculpt of the hand also looks great alongside with the weapon. But the hand being attached to the weapon is a little bit off. I wonder why they did that, but it's probably to be able to hold the figurine up. So let's just connect this together. So here we have is the rose, and I gotta say, this idea, I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to make it seem as you can place the petals wherever you want, but I kind of don't like this, because I think I said my opinion on, like, if you've seen my A-Zone Marin unboxing, I don't like the little extensions of little things like this, because I feel like you can lose this. Hold on, you can see as I'm taking this plastic off, they're all individual little pieces. So I feel like if you drop this, you can lose it. So do be careful if you do get this with handling these little pieces of roses. And okay, I just dropped one. This is what I'm talking about. This is like really tiny. Well, not that tiny, but small. So I guess you just place this on top of the base. Alright guys, so that was FuRyu's FNX 1/7 scale PVC figure of the character Destiny from the series Takt OP Destiny or Takt OP Destiny. So all in all, I gotta say, it's actually a really beautiful piece. As you can see, it's actually quite detailed as well. Besides the minor setbacks that I did mention about the hair, the middle section of her dress, and maybe the golden disc, because I think it's supposed to be the Voyager from NASA. I mean, you could look up what I'm talking about, but it's not really painted, it's just a gold sheet. But it makes sense, it's probably copyright reasons. That's going to be the end of this one, guys. It's actually a great anime series. I've not actually played the game, and sadly the game has shut down, so I don't think I'm able to check out the game either. The mangas were alright, but hopefully there'll be more for the series. I think the series has a lot of potential. I'm not really certain what they're going to do with the series, but they are continuing with a manga, so I guess that's a little bit of hope for fans of the series, so all we can do is just wait. So if you have not actually checked it out, I'd highly recommend it. It's a great series, but if you don't... But anyways guys, that's going to be the end of this one, so I don't want to keep holding you guys back, so I'm going to leave you guys off with the figurine rotating in 360 and other close-up shots of the figurine. So that's going to be the end of this one, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
She never